One of the things that we find most valuable for us in this job is the ability to work together, team with each other, both as a couple and as a family.
One of the good things about this job is that you don't just impact kids on a yearly basis, but you're able to do it on an hourly basis.
It's hard work, but it's rewarding.
It's rewarding.
And we're hearing about the job of house parenting there. Thanks so much for joining us for our fourth and final in the series called Poverty Talks for this year. And this provides an opportunity for you to hear from our experts how we at Milton Hershey School help children to deal with some of the struggles of poverty to, as our mission states, lead healthy, fulfilling, and productive lives. You heard from some house parents there, and we're going to hear from more house parents. We're going to hear from several people on our team that really helps to nurture and support the children in our care. So today, more about the impact of MHS house parents. Our conversation today will be broken into 3 segments. First, we'll chat with a house parent couple to learn more about the role and what makes it so rewarding. Next, we'll introduce you to several leaders within MHS Home Life to share how they support our house parents to ensure they have the tools they need to provide a structured, caring home away from home for our students. Finally, we'll conclude with a question and answer session from an MHS recruiter as we are actively hiring for new house parents right now to join our team. So let's get right into the conversation. Joining me for our first segment are George and Denise Gore, house parents in our elementary division. Hello.
Hi. Good morning.
Good. And it's quiet there now, which the kids are at school. It's not normally the case with elementary division. You were just saying a lot of energy, a lot of activity.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about yourselves and the role of house parenting.
Well, George and I had 3 biological children, and we felt incredibly blessed and wanted to give back in some way. So we decided to do foster care. We did foster care for 10 years, and we adopted 2 children. And we also had a couple of siblings that we helped enroll into Milton Hershey School. It helped us to learn a whole lot more about the school and made us very, very interested. And when we found out that this was like a job we could do, we were kind of sold on it.
And it's certainly a unique job, like no other. It's more of a investment, a career. You know, I've heard so many ways to describe it. What does a typical day look like? Is there even a typical day with kids?
Well, I'll try to explain a little bit. A typical day for us is like any other family, only we have a lot more children here. There they are.
Oh.
We help the girls throughout the day with their meals, chores, and homework, to organizing their activities outside the student home. We're a lot more scheduled during the week with school. So on the weekends, we like to relax and have fun. We sleep in a little bit, and then we do fun activities like hiking, biking, gardening, fishing. A lot of fun things.
A lot of fun things, and you're seeing you playing outdoors, and I just, it's kind of 24/7 a little bit, but you really kind of, it's almost like we said, a home away from home family.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, real family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you, George and Denise. Appreciate that. We're going to hear from some additional house parents. If you'd like to learn more, though, first about house parenting, we are hiring. So you can go to our website to learn more. You can go to mhskids.org/houseparents. And we heard a little bit there how house parenting really makes a positive impression on our students, but our students also have a big impact too on house parents. And right now we're going to introduce you to some retired house parents, Jenny and Karen Wogamuth.
It's not something that we looked for. It found us.
Jay, yeah.
It just, I mean, it's Milton Hershey School, and it made us proud. We're proud to work here. It made us.
Yeah, you have kids coming in. You have kids that are lifers. They come in pre-K, okay, and they're here their whole life. But then you have other kids that come in different places. But all of them are kind of drawn towards that commonness of the sacred values. integrity, mutual respect.
It was a privilege to live in that environment. When we did retire, it was interesting being out in the world where, people aren't expected to treat you nice. I mean, at the school, it's the expectation that you be kind, to one another and respectful. And, we lived that for 15 years. I'm not the same person I was when I came here. And I don't think you are either. We experience a lot because of what we experience with the kids' lives. Like
the kids come from poverty.
We hike with them.
There are kids that come in that have experienced and seen so much that a 4-year-old should never have seen. I'm thinking specifically about kids that you try to pour into.
Children are wonderful, and to be able to do that every day for it's your job is just unbelievable.
You can. I don't think there was ever a time that I felt like I wasn't able to accomplish some things with kids.
We've been retired since last December, and we just look at each other like we just can't even believe that we were able to do this, and it's because of Milton Hershey. I'm physically retired, but not in my heart. Like I still, I'm still in touch with kids. And
kids you think about, and we still talk about them.
Yeah, in my heart, I'm still there. I mean, it was hard to leave. That is our life. So I don't know, did we retire?
And hearing Denny and Karen share their remarkable career at Milton Hershey School really lets you see the impact that the position has, the impact that they have on students, and just what a calling it really is. Such big hearts and such big commitment on the part of our house parents. Now we're joined by some administrators at the school who support our house parents in their daily work. Joining me right now, 3 MHS employees we're going to talk to next are Karen Brown, Home Life Training Specialist, Lawrence Gaston, Associate Director of Middle Division Home Life, and Kelly Rosenko, Senior Division Home Life Administrator. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
And it's quite the commitment, but so many rewards come back, and you saw a little bit about that there. I want to start with Karen. Tell me a little bit more about yourself and what brought you to this career.
So welcome, everyone. I grew up locally, so I knew about Milton Hershey School. I think that there was always a little seed in my head that I wanted to know more. So because we lived locally, when my husband and I reached a point in our career that we could invest in Milton Hershey, we decided to apply and become relief house parents. We did that for a few years, and then the experience that we gained being relief house parents, we took forward and we applied and became full-time house parents. And we worked with middle division and senior division boys. After a while, I was fortunate enough to be able to step into my current role as a training specialist, which means that now I get a chance to use my experience as a house parent to help acclimate brand new house parents that choose Milton Hershey School as a career. So as a training specialist, I work with all of the new house parents that are hired for the first several weeks of their employment here. I help them as they receive mandatory trainings for house parents, such as administering medications, CPR and first aid, even how to drive a 10-passenger van so you can transport the kids and be safe, and many more mandatory things. We also train new house parents on how to set up and operate a student home effectively and efficiently, and how to deal with age-appropriate behaviors of students, and more specifically with a focus on behaviors that are found in kids with trauma backgrounds. We also help them to build relationships with kids, proactive teaching, active listening, how to de-escalate and work with a child in crisis. We also provide opportunities for new house parents to shadow current house parents so they get a chance to watch and observe how house parents interact with students and what being a house parent really looks like.
So Karen, you worked in a number of roles there. I'm going to shift gears a little bit and hone in directly to middle division, which is our middle school students.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I'm going to kick it over to Lawrence. I want to hear a little bit more about what your experience is like there as an associate home life director in our middle division.
Sure. My role here in the middle division is to provide leadership and supervision in the development, maintenance, and improvement in our middle division home life program. It's also my responsibility to work in collaboration with the principals, assistant principals, home life administrators, and our house parents to establish general guidelines for implementing policies and procedures.
So there's a lot of layers of care there. Thanks, Lawrence. I want to talk to Kelly too. Can you tell me a little bit about what a home life administrator does? And you're in senior division.
Absolutely. The role of the home life administrator is to oversee student homes where house parents are assigned to care for the students within their specific divisions. So my division is senior division or high school. And in my role, I'm available 24 hours a day. So it's my responsibility to support the house parents with programming in their individual homes. And that could be anywhere from budgeting, student academics where additional support might be needed, recommending scholastic interventions, recreational activities where approvals or guidance may be needed, behavior management support, where I may come into the home for consultation. I also function as a liaison to parent sponsors of the students and to the house parents. It's extremely important that our parents feel supported being away from their children while their students are here. And when our parent sponsors feel supported, their students do so much better here at the school. And in the event there's a behavior infraction or misconduct at school or in the student home, as a home life administrator, I help with the administration of the discipline in those circumstances. It helps preserve the relationship of the house parent and the student, the parent and the student, house parent and the student, to provide that additional support there, preserving the relationship. So it's an incredible role, and I've been doing it for quite some time. So it's just an amazing opportunity to work and support house parents. So,
and there is quite a bit of support, as we can see, whether it's training and there's consistent, interaction with the parents and also with administration, because it truly is a collaboration to support that child and really understand how they are going to be successful and what it takes to tune into that. And I want to get a sense too, we talked about the training. There's quite a bit of training for house parents, and there's also a role called flex house parent. So the house parent doesn't just jump in and get assigned their home. We want to make sure they're very prepared and ready to care for their students. So Lawrence, you supervise flex house parents. Can you talk a little bit about their role?
Sure. Flex house parents, they play a significant role in the success of our home life program. When flex house parents first come on board, they have the opportunity to shadow current house parents to ensure that they learn that role. They also cover for place house parents when our current couples take time off. This gives the flex house parents the chance to begin developing relationships with students and staff in our Milton Hershey community.
And what qualities make a good flex house parent or house parent, Lawrence?
I would say couples who are patient, flexible, but mostly caring individuals with high moral values, with a passion to work with kids from lower income families, especially those who want to work with kids and have fun while working with kids.
Absolutely. And Kelly, what's your experience in that regard at the senior division level? What really makes a good house parent with qualities?
People that are caring adults and appreciate youth from a diverse culture, varied backgrounds, people that like to work together while doing activities with students, people that are willing to help students grow through ordinary life challenges and enjoy celebrating student success. People that like people. There are a lot of people here at Milton Hershey School. So just being around people and interacting with others.
Yeah, those relationships and that respect, that mutual respect is so important to gain trust and to really be successful in that role. And Karen, you were house parents, you and your spouse, and you shared that. And I want to hear from your personal perspective what impact that the house parents have that you feel like you had on children in that role. It's just such a tremendous role. You're with them all the time. What impact did you see?
It's such a great opportunity that we're given as house parents. I think that house parents are given a huge opportunity to make an impact on the students that they work with. But as a house parent, you also have to realize that you might not see the outcome of that in the time that the kids are living in your student home. I've been very blessed where I've had the opportunity to have a lot of students that have passed through my home come back. Life happens to these kids and they grow up and they get out of Milton Hershey School and they experience real life. And that's when the seeds that house parents plant start to bloom. And oftentimes the kids will come back and they'll look for their house parents or they'll reach out in some way and they'll want to tell you that you made a difference to them. They'll tell you about things that you said and things that you did when they lived with you that you may not even remember, but they remember, and it makes a difference to them. And I think that house parents have to just be natural and do normal everyday things because that's where the kids learn the most. They get an opportunity to watch you. They watch how you interact with other kids in the home and with other employees at the school. And they watch how you interact as a couple and how you interact with your own personal children. And oftentimes it's not what you teach them or say to them, it's what they see and what they watch. So I think just by being normal and living a very natural life in front of the kids, that's where they're going to learn the most and gain the most.
That's such a great point. And that's part of what our founder intended in having those student homes versus dormitories, just to really have that feel of home and that comfort of home. Well, I want to thank Karen and Lawrence and Kelly so much for joining us today. And thank you for the work that you do in your roles as supporting house parents at Milton Hershey School. If you're interested in a career that really has meaning, you can see the legacy of our house parents, you'll want to stick around because we are hiring and we will be talking to an MHS recruiter shortly. But first, we want to hear from another house parent couple. We want to hear from Mike and Pam Umapeg.
Hi, we're Mr. and Mrs. Umapeg.
And we're Flex House Parents in Milton Hershey School.
One of the functions of Flex House Parenting here at the Milton Hershey School is to do on-the-job shadowing and also to help out the house parents that are assigned permanently to the house. We come in and we do all the duties that the regular house parents that are assigned to a student home does, but we fill in because they're off on vacation days or maybe other types of scheduled days off, and we run the house for them. As a Flex House Parent, you live in on-campus housing.
All the places that they give you is really neat.
Flex House Parenting is nice because we get to know the entire campus of students because we rotate from house to house to house. But when you go into the houses, it's not necessarily the homes that you're going into. You're going to notice personalities of children, and you're going to see the interaction between house parents and students.
And it wasn't the building itself, it's the people inside that make it that way. It really is really nice. And it's like a big family. Everybody works together and enjoys it.
There's so much to learn, and it's nice to be alongside seasoned house parents. It could be very challenging at first. By far, the good things outweigh all those things that you will be worried about when you come on. It's truly a great way to learn this job.
Mike and Pam there with the elementary students. You really have to be a kid at heart. And as we heard from some of our other guests, be able to have fun with the kids. Joining me now is Sal Hannah, who's a recruiter for MHS Houseparents. Hi, Sal. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks, Lisa.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time. First, I want to start, though, I want to back up a little bit. You actually were also a house parent at Milton Hershey School with your wife. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So my wife and I were living in Michigan prior to becoming house parents in 2013. We were house parents for senior division girls and did that role for 5 years. And just a kind of a brief, funny story is, in senior division, they're able to have cell phones, and we're trying to teach to what it's like to model appropriate cell phones. And we told them, when you can have them in, out and available. We told them, when you get to the real world, your jobs aren't going to let that happen at times. One of our students went and worked at Hershey Park, and she's like, Mr. Hannah, you're right. My supervisor said if I had my cell phone out, I'd be fired if I'm on it. I'm like, thank you. Yeah, so
right? It's kind of that, because they are watching you just as much as, what you're telling them. You're always modeling behavior for them, right? And so that was great to see that in the real world. So what does it look like there? Could you walk me through the recruitment process and how folks apply, what that process looks like?
Yeah. So with our full-time house parents, again, as we alluded to, all of our full-time house parents start off in that flex house parent role. But that's not the end state. We want all of our house parents to eventually have their own home, and that is the desire of all of the couples. So you're in that flex role for a bit, traveling, like Luna Pegs mentioned, from various homes. But then there's also another role in that flex category called a triflex, where you actually rotate between 3 specific homes, providing support to those homes. And so you really develop really good relationships and get more definition and predictability within your role. Then eventually you'll get assigned to your own home. So you'll be moved from a flex apartment to an apartment attached to that home. And the process from being a flex to actually being assigned to your own home can be anywhere from 1 to 3 years.
And we've talked throughout this segment about the commitment it takes, how you really have to be dedicated to this role. So obviously folks want to be thoughtful about it. And so what would be your advice as a first step to someone who might be watching this right now and still on the fence, but considering that they may have what it takes to be a great house parent and make positive impact on the life of a child?
Yeah. So as was alluded to earlier, we have a part-time role that Karen Brown alluded to. So if you're more local to this area, you can consider being our part-time house parents, which they support one specific home every other weekend. So 2 weekends a month, Friday to Sunday, they support. So that's a good way of testing the waters if you feel like, hey, this might be something we'd be interested in doing. But for the full-time role and the part-time role, the application process is rather lengthy. So it gives you a good experience to just really consider and think through, is this a good life choice? Because as alluded to, your professional and your personal are intertwined. And so thinking about, is this a lifestyle that we want to choose? And it takes several months to go through the process. You'll be invited to campus to be in a student home to learn that. We also have online information sessions that people can learn more about the house parent opportunity. We actually have one tonight that we're offering at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So people can go on our website, mhskids.org, to register for one of those sessions if they're interested. We also have some in May. You can go on the website if the one tonight does not work out for you. Our YouTube channel has a wealth of information and a channel specifically devoted to home life. So that's a good place to start and watch some of the incredible videos to learn more about the school. And our website, going to our website and exploring the various programs and offerings that we have. There's also a frequently asked question page specifically for the house parent role.
Lots of information out there. We really want to make sure that candidates have all the information they need, just as we want to make sure house parents have all of the training and support they can possibly have. Thanks so much for joining us today, Sal. We really appreciate that. Lots of good information there if you're interested in the role of house parenting. And that wraps up. That's our final of 4 in our series called Poverty Talks. You can always go to our website to learn more about house parenting, or if you want to see the series of Poverty Talks that we've had this year, you can also go to our website and go to the Poverty Talks section. We also have our social media channels. You can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and those YouTube channels, which are so helpful. Many, many videos that are categorized there where you can learn about house parenting and many other facets of Milton Hershey School. We appreciate your time today to learn more about this special and transformational role of house parenting at Milton Hershey School. And we're going to leave you today hearing, of course, from some more house parents. Have a great day.
This school is about educating children who are in poverty and giving them the tools that they need to have a successful life. Some of that has to do with, helping them to build character, helping them to learn how to build their social skills. So I feel like house parenting is that impact on their lives.
I think it's rewarding in the fact that you may not see the results right away. It's one of those things that you're investing for the future. And I think you can notice impact in people's lives when you see a change in their behavior. I know that we had a sponsor recently send me a text message, and she said, I just want you to know how appreciative I am of you and your wife. You provided a stable and a safe environment for my children. And she said it also helps them see what a normal family is supposed to be like. And that almost made me cry. I know I'm a big guy, but it was kind of emotional for me to read that and to know that there's a sponsor there that really appreciates the effort. So I know that it made an impact in that life, and the impact isn't necessarily just the kids. It goes far beyond that. I mean, it goes into their families back home. I think the impact is in our lives as well, because we get the feedback from those families and their appreciation. So it's just a good thing. I mean, this is investing in people's lives and seeing lives change, and that's what I love most about it.
And that's something that's eternal.
Correct. If you're watching this right now and there's somebody out there thinking, do I want to be a house parent? The reason why we came, and the most important reason why we came, is so that we could give back. It was a joy to hear about Milton and Catherine Hershey as well, because we saw that they gave everything they had to help this school and help the kids. And here we are 100 years later still doing the same thing. And thinking that here's a person, here's a family who thought, it's time to give back, we can't take it with us. And if you're out there thinking the same thing, this is a great place to come, because you can help people and really make an impact in their lives. And you get rewarded because you know you did the right thing. You know that you spent your life helping other people, not just helping yourself.